Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Blades of Roses, an adventure with swashbuckling action, suspicious intrigue, and lots of family trauma played in the world of 7th Sea. My name is Dan McCurdy. You can find me at RevDMC247 on TikTok, and I will be your storyteller this evening. We will go around and allow my players to introduce themselves, starting with Marquis.
Hello everyone, I am Marquis1305 on TikTok and most other handles, and I play Mesara O'Toole, who does not always get everyone into trouble. Okay, go Kristoff!
I am Sea-Cow, playing Kristoff, Sea-Cow Explosion on TikTok and basically nowhere else, playing the Eisen mercenaries Zweihander wielding individual who is usually the one having to deal with the trouble that Mesara is definitely not always responsible for getting us into. And that is Smoke.
I am Salty, or Salty's Unicorn on the TikToks. I'm playing Smoke, the wheels of this operation, or ship captain of this operation, and trying very hard to ignore the trouble that's definitely not happening around the girls. Go ahead, Took.
Hello, I am Took. I may or may not be a blood witch. I play Juniper Gun. And you can catch me at Took, I guess, everywhere, especially on the Twitch. Cass.
Hi everyone, I'm Crafty Mirage Nikki. You can find me there on all social media handles, and I am playing Lucrecia Casilda de Marquez, also known as Cass, the girl who's trying to live a double life but may have just gotten sold out to her father by Mez.
I see no trouble here.
I also love the idea that Took, you apparently announced that you yourself are a blood witch and then proceeded to introduce your character. That's a way to kick stuff off. All right. For those of you who need a quick catch up on what happened last week, we met all of our party members and got to see them get into a little bit of trouble in their various preferred venues when all of a sudden rumor came of a ghoul attack within the city. The party quickly discovered that it was not rumors, it was real, and they found zombies from Eisen who were feasting on the living and attacking everyone. This being something that is right up Kristoff's in his wheelhouse. He took the lead. Others were less excited about the whole idea, including our Inish princess, Mesara, who hung back only to be left alone and get attacked on her own by ghouls, which was kind of a fantastic moment. It has been a few weeks since then. The ghoul infestation has largely been handled, and things in town are remaining fairly quiet. It was fairly universally agreed that there are ghouls in San Juan would just create a panic that doesn't help anyone, and that has largely been kept down other than the guards keeping an eye on things. And so a few weeks later, it is dawn in the beautiful Castilian city of San Juan. The sun rises over the hills to the east and sends light streaming through a window in a nice, if not particularly opulent home on the northeast part of town. That light illuminates the face of a still dreaming Lucrecia de Marquez, known to her small group of friends and a smaller still group of freedom fighters as Cass. The scene would be very peaceful, except suddenly there is a pounding on the bedroom door. After a few heavy bangs, the door bursts open and in walks your mother, complete with a small squad of Serbian girls. Lucrecia, are you still sleeping, you lazy girl? Get up, get up, get up, get up. This is a very important day. Imelda, get her corset, the one we bought in case we got called to court. Alexa, grab the 3 gowns my mother made for her. May the prophets guide her to her peace. And Constanza, get her makeup ready and the brush. I hope your poor arm is rested because I do not know if my daughter has hair or just a giant knot of bedhead. What are you doing, girl? Get up, get up, get up.
Morning. I slept very well. Thank you very much for asking.
May the prophets give you the children you deserve when you deserve them. But what I could have done to deserve such a... Never mind. Your father is having a very important guest over for lunch, and he didn't tell me until 15 minutes ago.
Oh, so this is Dad's fault. So it's Papi's fault that you're like, okay. Alright, I'll get out of bed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being a lazy daughter. I will get out of bed. I'll get ready. I will wear the corset. I will wear the dress.
So as she is bundling over you and everything. She's like, the secrets of the Inquisition are so important. What's so important is to hide such a guest from the hostess until the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Surely the prophets would condemn such behavior, or else they've lived their lives in the fear of their mother's chanclas.
Yep. They gotta fear those.
So she's all getting you together and kind of going over, and this is more
Can I have
happening
coffee,
to
please?
you
Por favor.
than happening with you. The corset's getting tighter and tighter. Oh, that's fine. No one needs to go. And she's just picking over every single detail as she's looking. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Not
Maybe
bad.
we can loosen it a little bit. Poquito. Just a little bit, please. I can't breathe.
Fine. Loosen it a little. Just a little. They let out, like, the maids are looking at her. They are in absolute terror of your mother as they go and give up just barely the slice. You're not sure they actually loosened it. Like,
Mommy, when are we fitting Eliseo and Ignacio for their corsets?
they
Pretty
are
sure
wearing-
Pretty sure Eliseo has to start getting ready to get married too, huh?
He has very important business with the Inquisition, and you know there's not a corset in the uniform.
Yeah, whatever.
So, they're working over it. And can you believe it? A princess. A real princess. Coming over to our house. This, you know why this is so important, yes?
Cass just like, stops what she's doing immediately.
What?
We're having a princess come over?
Yes, from a small nation, of course. Inishmore's not very big, but a princess, nonetheless. She apparently was some great help to all that nastiness your father was tending to along the North Shore for the last week or so, though he said it'd be best if we not hear the details.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. He said that I shouldn't know the details either.
Yes,
So,
very hush-hush.
Mommy, I don't feel too good this morning. That's why I slept in so much. I got
No.
my please.
And with that, she just walks out.
I'm just looking at the maids.
And they're all like, there is sympathy in their eyes, but as they wish to live to see another dawn, none of them are going to give you even an inch to get out of this.
Really, you can't sneak me out the back.
Like, eyes widen.
Can't conveniently spill something down my dress just before she gets there, and I have to like leave for 15 minutes and never come back. Okay. All right, this is happening.
We choose life.
I don't blame you.
So you get kind of escorted out. And again, this is lunch, and it is dawn. And you have been woken up, but there are a million little tasks. And even though you are already in court attire, as if Inish princesses are known for showing up whenever they feel like it, you're technically helping with chores, but also getting yelled at to not get your dress dirty. Meanwhile, across town,
Pick one or the other, Mom.
at the base of the Serena, there's a very gentle knock on the door where Mesara is sleeping.
Hi, good morning.
And in walks Kara, the young girl who was the one who first brought news of the Ghoul attack before. It has turned out that her parents were killed in that attack. And in the couple of weeks that have passed since then, she has been mostly staying around the inn. The 5 gold that you gave her to stay there is going to last for a while. This is a place where sailors often stay. But even so, she's kind of looking to work and has kind of gotten involved. And Mesara, being Mesara, has basically bankrolled this extra employee. Mistress, you said you wished to be sure you were awake at dawn?
Thank you, my dear.
Is there anything you need?
Would you mind helping me iron my dress? I'm never quite good at that on my own.
Oh, of course. And she walks in and just starts kind of going over you. It's about as different a process as what that going through could possibly be. And and she starts kind of saying stuff about, should it be this one, do you think? The green, maybe the white and the red?
The white and red. Closer to Castilian colors.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I'll go. Where would the iron have been? Who used it last? I'll go get the iron. I'll be right back.
Of course, my dear.
And she sort of heads out.
And Mesara just kind of gets up and sits at her vanity and just starts brushing her hair very calmly.
Mm-hmm. In another room, Juniper, you hear something that you have come used to over the last week. The door to your room is opening. It is clearly trying to be quiet. And to be fair, this is the best they've done. But you definitely hear the door to your room get unlocked and start opening.
I'm just gonna faking it 100%.
Guys, I think we did it, guys. I think we did it. Alejandro and two of the other youth that you met when they attempted to pick your pocket in the last episode sneak in. And in the corner of the room is a coin purse that you have placed there. And every morning for the last little while, their job has been to try to get the bag. And if they can get it, they get to keep it. If they can get it and get out without you waking up. And so the first time they tried, they didn't quite kick the door in, but it had basically the same effect. You've been working with them. And they step, and then they find it's the same board. It's the same goddamn board every time. Squeak!
When they turn and look, I'm not there.
What? Should we just grab it? Should we just grab it and go?
And then I'll pop up at in front of the door, and I'll just go, maybe you should just skip over the board next time.
Right. We did better though, right? Like, it wasn't...
No. Line up.
Well, here's what we got overnight, and they bring out their bags and they kind of show you their pickpocketing. Not the most impressive haul. At least they're not bringing you coppers anymore. That happened the first night. It's a few gold pieces, a bit of silver.
And I'll just kind of, if they hand it to me, I'll hand it back to them. I'll go, you guys are doing absolutely amazing. You got me for a second there. You did really well. Unfortunately, really? I've been doing this for 20 plus years, so.
Alejandro still has this massive black eye. It is not after you laid him out the first time, and so he's the jumpiest of the three, even though he kind of seems to be the leader of the crew. But he's clearly very eager to make a connection to you, and is like, okay, what neighborhood? Where should we? Where should we go tonight? Or do we take the night off?
Yeah, no. Y'all take a rest. You've been doing really well. But also, and he just kind of point to the black eye and just kind of do the thing where he just touches it barely. And once he flinches, he's like, you guys need to learn how to defend yourself.
Are you going to punch me again?
No, but someone you're stealing from might. And they might do more than that. So you need to learn how to hit and run. You're too young to try and fight grown men. Unless you jump them, which is what me and my friends did. But maybe you don't be as ridiculous as we were. Right?
All right.
All I care about is your safety. You can steal all you want. And I'll give you targets to pick. But other than that, be safe. Yes?
Yes.
I'm not like your boss or anything. You can calm down.
Of course, sir. And they all walk out.
And I'm just
say you're not the boss all you want. You are very definitely the boss.
And I may or may not have gave them all matching rings that matches mine to let them know that they're part of my crew. But that's aside the point.
Nice.
And by the way, I have put a minor wound blood point on every single one of those rings, so I know exactly where they are wherever they go.
Cool. Very cool.
because they're like little brothers
Yeah,
to
you've
me,
had
and I'll be
you've had
damned.
plenty of time to do that. So
I'll be damned if someone put hands on them. But that's
all right. So a little dawn goes away. Eventually, the sun is getting a little bit higher as Mez is slowly getting ready, and Cass is being run roughshod all over the estate.
Do I at least get some breakfast or coffee? No. Okay.
You know your mother. Does she let you eat or drink anything in this process?
I would imagine I can at least have coffee.
All right. Coffee gets served along with a very strong, if you spill even a drop.
I 100% make the motion of, oh. I'm messing with Mom. She's not amused.
Yep. The passive-aggressive sniping continues to go forth. Meanwhile, back at the Beso de Serena, a little bit later, Kara knocks on Kristoff's door.
Yep.
Another message for you from the guard. They said you said not to wake them up with the bullshit anymore.
I'll go open the door.
Okay. So she pulls out a note and gives it to you. And it's from the town guard, has their usual stamp on it. And also the stamp of the Inquisition. You've been working kind of fairly closely with them as they've worked on keeping the infection under control and also not causing a panic. They've actually impressed you. You get the impression they may have had to do this before. Or at least they got the ones who had involved once they found out about it.
Disconcerting. But thank her and read the note.
You go through the note, and all of the people, all the missing people who have much chance of being ghoul victims have been located and identified, and so they are fairly comfortable saying that this stage of the infection has been dealt with. Obviously, they'll keep an eye open, and particularly in the poorer quarters, but they think that you, at least, can stand down at this point, and there's a thank for the service. There is a note that Kara's father was the last ghoul that they found. He had not been consumed. He'd actually been turned.
What did they do with the bodies, does it say? Or do I know just what the practice has been?
They would have done what you would have instructed them to do. What would you have instructed them to do?
Burn everything to ash.
They've been on it, and they've been super efficient with it.
Okay. So they've kind of been taking my word as a Eisener that I know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was remarkably little we know better than you. They very definitely followed your instructions.
I'm actually gravely worried how serious they're taking this and how much they're listening to an outsider.
It's a level of efficiency you're not used to from the Inquisition. Usually they get caught up in their own political stuff. The Inquisition in this town seems to be very effective.
That's also disconcerting for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what I'm saying is I'm very worried about literally everything right now.
And how
just
does
wait, there's more.
When he's very worried about everything?
If you said something, I did not hear it.
Okay. How does Kristoff handle a morning when he's very worried about everything?
Given that we've been in town for a while, pacing outside and trying to feel useful, so probably patrolling after a fashion, going around town and just trying to keep myself occupied. Even if there's nothing to worry about, I'm going to worry about it anyway, so I may as well go out on the town and worry about it.
Yep.
So, as they said, the poorer areas are probably the biggest concern. That's probably where I'll be spending most of my time, just walking around.
Mm-hmm. And they actually got that from you. You know that the poorer neighborhoods tend to be where people can disappear for a while and where people don't pay too much attention to the weird noises that they hear from a house. And so, because that, in most cases, is survival behavior. But here it can allow infestations to flourish. And so you look around, this is no risk around. So you're fairly certain as you're walking around that you're not missing anything. But then again, that's only barely the point of your walk. So
yeah, I don't expect to find anything. I expect to get away from my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm. How visible would you have allowed yourself to be in dealing with the infestation over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I would have tried to be invisible about it, but
Okay.
I have a feeling certain circumstances rendered that impossible.
So
Because it's not like I'm a hex who is marked for death by the Inquisition itself or anything, but I tried to help out as an Eisner and keep as not touch hex work, not even keep my tools of the trade on me.
all right, fair enough. That has worked, and the people in the neighborhood do not visibly recognize you. They see you as are you carrying this Zweihander? I'd do it because an Eisner without their weapon is probably going to draw more suspicion. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically, you have this halo of space around you. Ironically, not big enough, because even seeing how big this Zweihander on your shoulder is, people even up close can underestimate how just freaking big those swords are. But you've got a halo around, so if you started swinging, you'd only catch one or two people as opposed to the press around you. And that's the sort of thing you've just learned to be aware of. Meanwhile, Smoke, you haven't slept all that much. You are down at the docks. There has been an awful lot of work with the ship, with basic maintenance, with cleaning more thorough than maybe people are used to with such ships as things are going. And of course, when there isn't legitimate paperwork, there's an awful lot of illegitimate paperwork that's going on, and you've been kind of overseeing that, but maybe a little bit with rings under your eyes. The harbor master comes out with all new paperwork and things like that, just showing that yes, you are a registered trader in the city, and that all of the fees and everything have all been paid. And they hand you the paperwork for your new ship.
New ship, the Cerulean Tides.
The Cerulean Tides. And it's there. It's been the name is painted on, and you finally are able to walk out of the dockmaster's office. And it's a ways away. It's not one of the nicer ships, but and it's smaller, so it doesn't need to be right at the central hub. But as you walk out, there it is, and it's yours.
Beautiful little ship. She'll get me where I need to go. Where do we need to go? I have to look into this if anybody has anything to do. You know, there was that party and all of those connections I was making.
Yep.
Should probably go check in on one of those at some point to see if anybody has anything they need shipped.
All right. Considering a trip, I believe, to San Felipe. So you've got your charts and everything you got set up. Have you been doing any crew recruitment?
I would be assuming so, considering that I'm the only one that has any kind of ship knowledge. I need a few hands. This isn't a giant, massive ship.
So yeah.
So, but I would still need at least probably 5, 6.
Yeah.
to run it?
This is
Oh, I'm
Mesara paying salaries, I believe.
Oh, that's not her asking to go up into the rigging. I'll gladly take you into the rigging.
All right, so yeah, you've had money, and Mez has actually made enough of a name herself that if she's in any way visibly associated with this, people are always interested in that sort of thing. So a crew is available. This does have a little bit of a risk involved, and so what is your approach in recruiting your crew?
I would say honestly, just a good pay. I don't see a need to intimidate crew. It's a good way to get a mutiny out in the middle of the ocean. So, talking sailing, talking about giving people a chance to continue on other journeys or learn. I am not afraid of having a few newer people and training what I need.
All right. This is going to be your panache and your sailing, as you kind of sell yourself as a talented captain who has the finance to pay people up front. Never a bad way to go about things. There is a risk. You've got one risk of hiring someone with an agenda that you don't know about, and you have a risk of hiring someone who is selling themselves as a good sailor when they actually are not. So 2 risks. And I will even say an opportunity to grab a particularly talented quartermaster. What was that? Sorry.
It's 4.
4. All right. So you get all of it. You can evade. You successfully recruit the crew. You, as you're going, there is one who seems maybe a little bit more interested in Mez that makes you entirely comfortable, and you kind of pass over him. There's another who tries to talk a good game, but just you don't mind inexperience. You do mind people who act like they know what they're talking about when they don't, and so he kind of let him go. And there's one kind of saltier sea dog who had thought he was going to retire and realized that land life wasn't suiting him, and he knows his stuff. And you're pretty sure this guy could sail the Cerulean Tides with one hand tied behind his back. So
he's that guy that retired and then went to get a job at Walmart the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Could never stand it. And so he goes aboard, and it's going to take him a little while to get settled in, but you think you could probably be underway pretty soon if you wanted to. And that, I would say, will go ahead and bring us up to Mez approaching the Marquez mansion. Everything in the dining room is all set up, and Cass, you have been moved around the table like 3 times as your mother keeps... You are used to your mother hyper-functioning. This is different.
I will say that at one point I tried to hide in my room again. Unsuccessfully, obviously. But I have to make it somewhat harder for her.
Mesara has brought Kara along as her lady's maid.
Okay.
With a brand new dress.
This is literally the first time in her life Kara has worn new clothing. Like, the idea of going to a place and getting fitted. She was so overwhelmed, kind of uncomfortable, because by definition, she's really only worn comfortable clothes. Like, because why else would you wear it? Like, and so
we'll try to find something that, you know, matches comfortability and function while looking pretty, but it's mostly going to be comfortable because 2 of us don't need to be uncomfortable.
So she's getting all set, and she's just kind of. She is. Kristoff, before you headed out, would you have told her the news about her father?
that is a situation that I would not drop on her in the middle of an inn. In a hallway, I would not say, by the way, we found your dead dad, and then tell her to go. That is something that, despite Kristoff's altered state over the past few weeks, I'm not that callous. So that is something that would be waiting for later.
Okay. And she's fairly certain he's gone at this point, but yeah, that's a whole new level of... So she's there, and obviously she's been dealing with the loss of her parents, but this whole new world that Mez has brought her into still has her kind of wide-eyed, and she's remembering her place. She's following propriety, as well as the week of prep that she's kind of had, that this was going to be her new deal, has allowed for her, and she's not doing bad at it. And as you approach the house, the door opens, and the head inquisitor of the city, Count de Marquez, is standing at the door and smiling very kindly. This is a handsome gentleman, and he steps forward and offers out his hand in welcome.
Mesara will go ahead and delicately take his hand and give a very deep curtsy.
Mm-hmm. And he will go for a very deep and respectful bow. My lady Mesara, Lady O'Toole, again, I cannot thank you enough for all of the work. This situation could have been so much worse, and your communication with us allowed us to deal with it. Your man-at-arms, his Eisner experience was incredibly helpful, and thank you so much for all that you've done.
Of course, it was only anything any good citizen should be doing.
Anyway, come on in. Meet my family.
I'd be happy to.
And he walks in. Now, my oldest, Eliseo, unfortunately, is not with us. He has already joined the Inquisition and is doing something or other over on the eastern coast. My middle child, Ignacio, will be late for lunch. He is aiding with the last of the cleanup missions. However, and he walks in. This is my wife, and of course, my daughter. And you walk in and see, I'm forgetting your mother's name. Sorry.
Magdalena.
Magdalena is there, and very, very deep curtsy. Kara already knows how to do it better than she does. She's clearly very not used to this, or if she is used to it, she's overreacting. It's like if you prepare your whole life for a test, but suddenly it jumps on you as a pop quiz and everything you ever thought. You just
mommy! I really the whole time I have my accent.
In turn, Mesara will give an even deeper curtsy, almost to the point where her skirts are pulled entirely onto the floor, and then rises and my lady.
And my daughter, Lucrezia. And there is Cass.
My lady.
Cass is very stiffly going to do the curtsy, but she, for the moment, can't find words because her lives, her double lives, have intersected in a way she did not want. This is the whole point.
Inquisitor, if I may say, your daughter and family are entirely beautiful.
Thank you very much. I think so as well. And he just kind of sits down. And the start of the meal is mostly business. You gave him important intel, and he is, as an Inquisitor, intel is his main coin that he has to deal in these sort of things, and he's kind of offering that back. We were preparing a full report for various local groups, ruling dynasties, and the like, so that they can make proper preparations. Unfortunately, such incursions are mostly limited to Eisen, but they're not unknown, particularly where ship trade is a thing. And so if you were wanting, we could also send one of these reports either to your own court, either through our own people or through you, however is best to do that. We don't wish to inconvenience anyone.
I believe this matters less to the Inish people, if you do not mind my saying so, and more to the Eisen.
Well, what civil authority in his Eisen still exists will probably be well aware, but we will pass it along that way as we can.
Best to know how far these things spread at times, even if they are aware. To have it confirmed is another thing entirely.
The biggest question seems to be where they came from. By ship seems most likely, though we didn't find any sailors, and so that remains a bit of a mystery, though there's always possibilities, and one could manage to walk all that way without running into anyone, though there's a whole lot of very lucky people on the way. We've made inquiries up and down the coast, and no sign of any infestations outside of us, and so it's almost like one just appeared here.
Is it at all possible that the ship sunk and they found their way past it?
It's not a bad idea, and there was that storm a little while ago.
Aye. As I recall, it was quite a squall.
It's possible a ship sunk and some managed to walk up out of the surf.
It would explain why there were so many of your own.
Yes, unfortunately. In any case, and the meal continues. Magdalena showing just every deference to you. Eventually, Ignacio does come in. Cass, would you describe your older brother?
My my brother, he's the middle the middle baby. Ignacio he looks a lot like our father, but his hair is of a lighter coloring, very light brown. His eyes are mostly hazel, and he's got a typical traditional Castilian complexion. Yeah, he's got a little bit more of mom in the coloring and the eyes and the skin tone, but looks a lot like our dad.
All right. He walks in, bows low as introductions are made, and if she was too overwhelmed to weigh in when you were being introduced to the family initially, suddenly Magdalena goes into overdrive, talking about how handsome and accomplished Ignacio is, and the various how far he's come in the Inquisition in so short a time, and always did good in his classes, and was always a good boy, minded his mother, and Ignacio shoots a look at Cass, which is, if she's been like this all day, I'm sorry.
Cass is just glaring daggers at him like, you left me alone with this all morning.
And how is Maz handling this? She's not flat out saying it, but yeah, this is obviously don't you think my young
She's trotting him out like a prized pig.
Exactly.
She is a typical Latin mother.
No, Mesara is just giving a very demure smile, nodding as if interested in, asking questions where necessary, and
He goes to church every Sunday.
and twice on Wednesdays.
All day.
Midnight mass on Thursday.
Now, for his part, Ignacio is interested, but not in the pretty girl princess, make that happen. He starts peppering you with questions like, this is all fantastic. Thank you for the enthusiastic introduction, Mother. I have heard stories of your dueling.
Oh, have you?
Your contest in San Felipe, you couldn't win, but the challenge against the traitor, the one who was trying to steal the ship.
Aye, yes.
Is it true he was fighting with two big double scimitars and you just had your rapier?
That is true. As it so happens, I'm used to fighting against rapiers now and then.
And so he just and the challenge you gave, like, to the whole city, just calling him out like that. It was, and he's full on sports fanning over you now, like. And so, just like, that was amazing. So, yeah, which school are you? Which duelist school? I'm afraid I've been so busy I haven't gotten to go to any of the tournaments lately.
I just completely blanked.
To the hero notes.
To the hero notes.
Aldana, isn't it?
It's Aldana.
Alveda?
Yeah,
It's Aldana. Yeah, Aldana.
because it's the
Aldana.
dance. I'm like, it's an A. It starts with an A. Hold on.
Yeah, it's the one right before the one I wanted.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the
School of
for those who
Aldana.
don't know, there are a ton of dueling schools in 17. We're all getting used to them.
we're all learning, people, as we go.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. I learned about the Aldana school, although not necessarily from the school here.
But you did graduate from here. Where did you learn?
I had something of a private tutor at home.
Oh, well, I suppose, but even that's impressive. I mean,
Aye?
they don't graduate people just on... That is just amazing. Do you have any idea, like, are you going to do the tournaments regularly, do you think? Do the politics get troublesome for that at all?
It can at times. I have to choose my tournaments wisely to make sure that I'm not putting any of my own countrymen ill at ease.
While this is all going on, Cassie, your mother leans over and is like, why does he keep talking to her about swords?
Because Mommy, he is interested in swordplay because he likes to fence.
But he could be complimenting her eyes or the cut of her dress.
And he also could be wearing a corset, but he is not.
You think one would fit under the uniform?
I wasn't serious, Mommy.
So, as all this goes, does anyone have anything particular they want to get up to in this meal or anything they want to try to accomplish? Are we just surviving?
Cass is just solely surviving. She is trying so hard to keep any topic of conversation off of her, and the best way for her to do that is to just kind of like wallflower.
Mesara, having enough empathy and notice to kind of pick this up out of the corner of her eye, has focused, much to, I'm sure, Magdalena's delight, on Ignacio.
All right.
And is asking him about his own fencing, engaging in that particular conversation.
He talks about how everyone in the family learned from a master of the Ambrosia school, though none of them, at least neither himself nor his sister or brother, have had the opportunity for the full training. But they're kind of learning the basics of that. Unfortunately, all of their various duties have drawn them away. He does seem to, at this point, start trying to pull. He is misreading how Cass is staying out of it and wanting to include her in this. Pulls and talks about how, and this is actually absolutely the wrong thing to bring up in front of her mother, how she would like to spend more time, at which point Magdalena gets involved in the conversation again. Jumps in and goes, well, yes, swords are all very nice, and it's an amazing talent that you have, and I'm sure it comes in handy at various court functions, because she doesn't want to trash it when you're good at it, and she's just kind of all over the place with that. But she's like, I should say, you've been in San Juan for about a month now, is that true?
Something to that matter, aye.
Yeah, have you had much chance to get around and see the various sites and things like that, the parties, the ones without the stabbing?
No, I'm afraid not. I happen to be rather embroiled with my duties currently with the duelist school.
The ones with the stabbing are the more fun anyway.
Well, if you would like, and you need someone to show you around, to the various functions and things that are happening. I'm sure that Ignacio would very much love to. At this point, Pedro leans forward and goes, "I think Ignacio is going to be a little too." Paolo, sorry. Paolo leans forward and goes, so the father.
Yes.
Dad.
Dad Inquisitor leans forward and says, I'm afraid that Ignacio's duties are probably going to be taking him away from town for a little while, but I imagine Lucrezia would be available to show you around should any time arrive for you.
I would appreciate this greatly, as she glances to Cass. And however, I would not be doing this for free. I would, I'd feel too much like I was imposing upon her own.
No,
Perhaps...
no. It's fine. You don't. No, I don't need to be paid to show you around.
No, I was not. Your family is well off enough that I would not think to blacken your pride by offering payment. However, an exchange of knowledge. I'd be happy to teach her a thing or two if she were interested.
Mez is freezing. Not Mez. Cass is freezing because her mom doesn't want her learning how to do any of that, and she's just kind of like pausing and just kind of looking over.
Well, Paolo then leads in and goes, "Well, I mean, we've just seen how dangerous even our quiet little seaside city can be, and so I definitely think the opportunity to learn from a master of the sword could certainly be useful."
And Cass is just looking at her mom like, I mean, if a princess is offering, Mommy.
And Magdalena has gone sheet white.
Mesara smiles to Magdalena in a very, very pretty, almost batting of her eyes. It would do me a great honor to offer this to your family after all of the wonderfulness that you have offered me here this evening.
It would be rude to not accept, Mommy.
And of course, perhaps at some time I can invite her to the Avalonian or the Innish courts.
I could meet so many noble boys.
Magdalena has functionally blue screened at this point, and so Paolo, recognizing that, leans forward and says, "Yeah, thank you so much. We graciously accept." And Magdalena's like, "Okay."
Mental fist bump, yes.
Now, Paolo, kind of recognizing the sword, he said, "Magdalena, why don't you come with me up to the office, and we'll prepare some of the communications. Ignacio, you go back to your duties, and Lucrezia, if you would
I can show her around the city.
Go right ahead.
I can. Yeah, I can. She's just like rushing to get up. Like, I can 100% just take her and escort her and get her far away from here.
It was an absolute pleasure. And Ignacio, perhaps if you're free at some point, I'd be happy to accept your escort to one of the balls."
Oh, God.
Ignacio smiles, offers a bow of his own, and says, "That would be absolutely wonderful." And he kind of glances over. As he starts to leave, he does sort of pass Cass and kind of says, "My friends are not going to believe this. They're going to be so jealous. Have fun."
What friends?
Cass, apparently still embittered.
She's salty that her mom did this.
And with that, things immediately go, and the door closes behind Kat, Mesara, and Kara as they walk off of the estate for what is sure to be an interesting walk back to wherever they're going.
First things first, I'm not marrying your brother, so there's no concern about that.
Don't marry my brother, please.
No.
No.
I'm fairly certain that's not going to be an issue.
So I'm guessing I'm going to just be getting a lot of questions right now, huh?
Do you want to be getting a lot of questions? I feel like you might be a wee bit overwhelmed, my dear.
I feel like you already know a lot, and I feel like you have a lot of questions, and I feel like since we just tricked my mother into letting me do the thing that I've been wanting to do, and she has been vehemently disagreeing upon letting me do for years now, I think I owe you an explanation.
All right. I actually kind of understand most of it.
Do you?
I mean, I ran away from my own home, so...
I didn't, obviously, just because
it's a little less permanent on your point at this matter, at least.
It's complicated.
I understand. Complicated. At the very least, you're not engaged yet?
No, No.
You all right?
I forgot my hairpin, but it's okay.
I see. We're going to add that onto the list of questions for later, eh?
Later, can we just like...
Yes, we're going to keep moving.
Let's just let's get far away from my neighborhood and she's just gonna point at one of the nearby houses that 100% has an abuelita. She's just gonna point it out. Maybe you're just very nice, and she has been telling the neighbors all freaking morning.
I can't be helping that.
I know. Can we just go? Away from the neighborhood and into where we usually go. I will talk there, not here. Because over there, they don't know me as well.
If you be going like this, the others are also going to be having questions. Why don't we go ahead and stop at a place real quick? We'll grab something that's not these.
Fine.
Aye. All right.
This is the one time I'm letting you buy me something. That's it.
It's perfectly fine.
No more. No buying me things. Any other time.
We'll consider this one on credit as part of the questions.
Fine.
Fine.
Kara, meanwhile, is watching this like an entire episode of The Secret Lives of Noble Women is just playing out in front of her. And her eyes are just like saucers, and she's living for all of it.
Mirta, you can stop staring out the window. We see you.
All right. So, as all of that happens, what sort of outfit do they get for Cass?
I guess just something more modest, just because a dress is easier to change into than pants, and I get less questions.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, you all arrive back at the base of the Serena at about the same time, just after lunch, in various moods. After the threesome left, what has Juniper been getting up to?
He realized that he might need a little bit of practice himself, so he's just been kind of slinking around the city and just not stealing anything, but pinging people. There you can see. I guess you could say.
All right.
So he's been like kind of parkouring around the city and just kind of running away from things.
And how is Kristoff looking as he kind of gets back to the inn?
Preoccupied. The walk did not allow him to escape any of the numerous thoughts that are going through his head and have been for the past month at this point.
I imagine Smoke has a little extra skip in her step now that she has a ship that's hers again. All right.
Absolutely. I've put Jonathan through his paces. He's going to make an excellent quartermaster and help get the rest of the crew up and running. Between the 6 or 7 of us, we could do different rotating shifts and have that ship sailing soon.
All right. Well, as the crew all gathers together and they see a very amused looking Mez with a How would you put Cass's current mental state as they walk into the? Yep, that as they walk in. We're going to call a quick break, and we will be back here in 10 minutes. And welcome back. We are rejoining our characters in the Beso de Serena with a very cross-looking cast, and Amez, who I think it's safe to say is amused, but trying not to show it too terribly much at this particular moment. Is that correct?
Trying.
She's not having it at all. She is nowhere safe to show the amusement at this point. And again, everyone is just kind of gathering around. And what are you doing?
So I'm likely sitting, trying to enjoy my book over by the fire, plotting, knowing that Jonathan is already getting to work training the new people on the ship. Waiting for the whole crew to get together so I can let them know that I've hired a crew.
Without noticing that she's reading her book, going to walk in and just sit down in the chair next to her and grumbling under my breath and out loud at the same time.
Is there a window in the bar?
Yeah, a couple by the door.
I just kind of through the window.
All right.
He's learned to keep it open after the first window broke.
And when he's just like, he's sweating, no shirt, and then he gently put the shirt that was tied around back on. Whiskey!
Okay, now it's not Mez that's doing it, you're doing it to yourself.
As we both walk in.
Yeah, I just heard whiskey as we both walked in. I'm like...
You have a point. But Mez is the one who introduced me to whiskey because I had no idea what it was before.
Isn't it a great thing, aye?
It's better than water. Whiskey!
Everything's better than water.
What's wrong with water?
It's not whiskey.
It's disgusting.
What's wrong with water? As we should all hydrate.
Kara, my dear.
Yes, mistress.
As apparently I'm going to be attending more functions, I believe that you're going to be needing more gowns, of course, and suitable accessories and the like.
More?
Aye. At least one for every day of the week. Perhaps one for every day of the month. It's up to you.
Where would I even keep that many dresses?
Do you not have a wardrobe?
Is that mine?
Aye. There's a chest as well for your personables and for shoes and the like.
I've been putting food in there.
Food works. You realize you don't need to stockpile food.
And she has a look on her face that says she hears the words you just said and they make no sense to her whatsoever.
Kara, my dear. If you're going to be being under my employ, I'm to be feeding you. Daily, multiple times a day.
Oh.
I'm paying for your board here while your house gets fixed up. The board includes the food as well, my dear. You don't have to sneak it.
She kind of looks over at the bar and the bar owner. What did we call him again?
It's in the notes. One sec. It's in the NPC thing. I'll look it
Edmundo.
up. Edmundo, yeah.
Edmundo looks at her and has a look in her face like, I told you. But like, it's like they're talking about some weird mythical creature that's even weirder and more mythical than Kara had figured out. It's a look that the party has gotten fairly used to and seen whenever horror folks spend any amount of time in medical company.
Aye, so you'll be needed to go to the tailor. You could be telling him to put it on my tab. I'll cover all of it. If you need more clothes that are a bit more comfortable, if you need anything for the cleaning or anything like that, you could do that as well. If you be needing anything for your hair, accessories or the like, a hat perhaps.
She kind of looks up at her hair and it's not bad. It's clearly never ever been styled in her life. it's got very strong cut with a knife when it gets too long vibes. And so she's sort of like, what do you put in your hair?
You can put things like accessories. You can tie it back. You can braid it.
Well, how you keep it out of your. I think I need some time to get used to this, but okay.
You have as much time as you need.
Okay.
If her
It's been
Kristoff
hair,
is actually going to sit himself down right next to the two of them and pull the one of my little beard keeps the things in place, things out, and just kind of clip it on the back of her hair, kind of tousle her head a little bit.
Aw.
Oh, now that I went and messed it up, why don't you go upstairs, find one of the mirrors, and clean it up and see how you can use that thing to keep it, well, from looking like mine.
And she's like playing with it, like, oh, okay. And she runs up the steps.
So are you planning on settling here, Mez?
Not in the least. She can always come with us.
She can what now?
I don't think
She can
her.
come with us.
Do you think her parents would be okay with that?
On
If
that
she goes with you?
subject, not to interrupt this conversation, but being a young girl, she's going to be up there for 30 seconds or 30 minutes. The
That was a bit-
Inquisition found her parents.
Aye.
Oh, she's an orphan now.
Hmm.
I didn't tell her this morning on account of not wanting to dampen the beginning of a day. When you're dealing with trauma, it's best to be able to go to bed quickly and cry it out and go to sleep.
yeah.
Is that how you deal with it?
Yeah.
I've always
And-
just started to stab things.
Also, whiskey. It's got- Yeah. Speaking of orphans, though, if we're taking little ones with us,
Aye.
I have 3 very useful kids. Well, teenagers, should I say.
Oh, and what are their names? I could put them under the employ.
Oh, look at that. So, let me pull out the list. Hold on. Jeez.
Where
Alejandro.
God.
It's the Lady Gaga song. It's Alejandro, Fernando, and
Fernando.
Roberto.
And Roberto, yes. Alejandro, Fernando, and Roberto. I
So-
believe that are their names.
Where are we putting all of these children?
You just kind of look at mess and then take a sip of the whiskey and turn around.
Well, if they'd be needing a place to stay, there are plenty of rooms that we could be renting here. Or there's the house that we're fixing up for Kara. That I'm fixing up for Kara.
Okay. The ship
If-
is going to be ready to sail soon.
Oh, aye.
So are you setting up so that she or they have someone to take care of them while we are gone? Because small child in a house by themselves is just easy pickings.
Well, they're teenagers.
Kara's
close
not
to-
that small.
Yeah. They're teenagers, but close to 18, I think. Well, the 3 boys is anyway.
Yeah,
16
Kara
to
is
18?
Kara is 16, and the 3 boys are probably in that 17, 18.
Edmundo can always keep an eye on them for us.
Oh, definitely. He could be like an adopted daddy. He just kind of look at
I can just hear Edmundo now, shaking his
Poor
head.
Edmundo. I'm like, what? They give me all this money, and that's why they did it to saddle me with a bunch of kids I didn't want.
Edmundo's on the bar. I've already raised all my children. I've got a whole new bunch. And apparently, they're adopting children now.
If
At
any
least
of
one of
them,
them pays for everything.
if any of them are coming on my ship,
Aye.
we are going to learn to sail. We are not going to have useless children on the ship.
Excuse me, there's nothing useless about being a lady's maid. Do you know how much work she has to put into that every day?
you know how hard it is to
Do you know
be
how
a
much
thief.
work there is on a ship every single day? Not to
No.
mention you need to make sure. Right? See, this is the problem.
You see, I pay people to do that part. Makes it quite easy.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this one. He's just gonna turn.
It's lovely that is the wonderful life you have had, Princess.
Aye.
But coming onto the ship, everyone's got to have to at least learn a little bit so you don't fall overboard.
Well, I'm not saying that she can't be learning any of it. I'm just saying that if I'm to be hiring her for one thing, it wouldn't be fair to her to expect her to be taking on other tasks.
Only while she's on the ship. If she makes it on the ship.
It'll depend on what it is we're planning on doing. If I have to be going to some places, there are going to be times where I require a lady's maid just to keep up the this.
Yeah.
Were we going somewhere? I'm hearing a lot of we.
I'm just saying if you guys are wanting to go, because the ship should be ready here soon. Kristoff, did you have something you wanted to explore?
As much as I would love to be part of this conversation, between the realities of work and the limitations of space on a ship, I'm going to go intercept Kara before she gets downstairs and do my job.
There's another thing you might want to be knowing. The Marquez family might be thinking that you're my man-at-arms.
You told them what now?
I did not be telling them anything. He assumed. Because he's been working on my behalf after I might have informed the Inquisition about what had happened. Because you did say that there was, the guards weren't going to be able to be doing much.
There is a lot of emotion that flashes across Kristoff's face. A rare moment where you actually see the faintest tinge of anger, but it is very outweighed by something else, something closer to concern. And with that dour expression already in place, heads upstairs to break the news to Kara.
At this moment, as if to break the tension, the door that to the room where Kara has been staying bursts open, and she runs out looking pretty nervous and goes, "There's yelling and shouting coming from the streets. Do you think it's..."
Poor child.
We'll take care of it, my dear.
Take a look.
Kristoff, in no damn mood, is just going to grab his Y-Honder and throw the damn door open and head out into the street.
I have to do this in a dress.
Edmundo, one more whiskey to go.
I don't have my coat. I don't have my blades.
I'm out there, whip in hand, just right behind him.
I have to be doing this in this gown. I don't want to do it in the gown. I can't breathe.
I don't even have my weapons on me.
Do you have them here?
No, I keep them at my house. You know, the one that you came into today.
As you all walk outside, you see what seem to be several... There's definitely shouting and noise, but it's not the fear reaction, and there's absolutely no hint of the ghoulish moaning that you all had heard the last time you burst into this. What you see is 3 different groups of guards seeming to be in a fairly high-speed chase. Some riding horses looking like they're trying to cut something off, some running down the main boulevard, and a group that it even seems to be running around on the rooftops, awkwardly trying to see what happens. And fleeing from all of them, bursting out of an alley, runs what appears to be a younger man in decent leather armor designed to help him move, a cape kind of flowing around behind him, and a mask pulled across his face as he's running, clearly trying to evade these guards and just running for all he's worth.
With the 6-foot reach of my whip, would I have the ability to possibly trip his feet up? Just
you are not close enough now, but you could certainly work on getting close enough to make that happen.
I just kind of look at everybody.
So, Juniper and Cass would both clearly know without any thinking, this is someone working for Los Vagobundos. It is not the purple mask, but it has the stylization of that particular group.
Cass is going to look at Juniper, kind of just give him that look like we need to help him.
Fine.
Meanwhile, is Smoke going to try to cut him off?
No.
Whether or not Smoke knows about the Vagos, Smoke, Kristoff, or Maz, that's up to each of you. Whether you know enough about... You've definitely heard of them, but whether you would know enough to see this and immediately put together that's what this is.
I'm going to run back into the place and go to my room and grab a mask and stuff that hides my identity when I'm stealing stuff.
Okay.
And
for the record, what would be commonly known, particularly among thieves, is you never wear a mask if you are not Los Vagobundos, because
It's
if
insulting.
you do and they catch you, they will treat you like... It would be better to be caught as a thief
Than to be caught as a thief with a mask.
of being Los Vagobundos.
Okay. No, then I'll just have a hoodie to just kind of hide the features in. Instead
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
mask. Okay. Good to know that. Oh, man.
Um,
Whew,
Yeah.
Saved me some time. And I'm going to just burst out of my window on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to kind of keep up with them. And then at the right moment, I'll do my best to take the attention off.
So you're going to try to distract the rooftop guards that are chasing him?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. What's Cass doing?
Let's see. I have direction sense. I know the best ways in and around this area of the city.
Ooh, me too. We're criminals.
If possible, I would like to try to get the Vagabundo's attention to try to direct him into the nearest the nearest alley that is harder to pursue
Okay.
through.
All right. So you're going to try to get him free of the notice of the guards. Smoke, Kristoff, Mez, what are the three of you doing?
Kristoff says out loud, muttering to himself, "I'm too old to be running on rooftops."
I'm too old for this shit.
Heads back inside, and I'm gonna do what I set out to do with Kara.
Okay.
I don't know if we're meant to be helping the guards or if we... Smoke,
Yes.
which party are we meant to be helping here, or are we meant to be staying out of this?
I say we stay out of this one. There's no zombies. That's what I came out here for.
No, alright.
There's a lot of them. We pissed them off. We have a city we can't come back to.
I'm fairly certain I could come back.
See, I'm not you.
However, I'm fairly certain I could convince them to let you come back.
But do you want to put in that much work for one person? I'm going to turn at that point and walk right back in and then go back to my book by the fireplace.
Mesara, being Mesara, is just very curious about what's going on, so she just wants to watch very intently as this plays out in front of her and then decide what to do.
Okay, so Mesara's not doing anything. So Juniper is taking on one of these brute squads running along the roof. You are doing so with your finesse, because you're doing it just trying to draw their attention off with your own kind of hardcore stuff. So finesse and athletics.
I'll whistle at them and say a curse word in Spanish that Cass taught me. And he has
I don't
no
curse.
clue what it means.
Cass doesn't curse.
Ooh.
She wouldn't have taught it to you.
Oh, never mind then.
Mez would definitely taught you to swear in Castilian, though.
Mez definitely did. Or Smoke. They definitely did.
Yeah, Mez definitely could have. And so, all right, here are your risks. You have a risk of taking some hits. You also have a risk taking hits just as you were running along on the rooftop, and you have the risk of them suddenly... Actually, do you mind if they totally lock onto you in their chase? Like if they're suddenly chasing you instead of chasing him? Is that your plan?
Essentially, yeah. No, I have a big old blood stain in the middle of my bedroom floor that no one has noticed. So I have a good way to get away. So if someone major wounds me, perfect for me.
All right. So you're running, hoping to draw their fire. more than fair.
So
And
rolling.
so, I'm going to call it 3 risks of wound.
Okay.
That you can alleviate with your raises. And for Cass, for you trying to get his attention, I'm assuming your main goal is to not be noticed by the guards as you are doing this.
My main goal is making sure he gets away.
Okay.
So I'm rolling finesse and athletics.
Yeah, finesse and athletics for you. And so how are you going about doing this? Are you trying to draw their attention, Cass? Are you trying to draw their attention onto you, or are you trying to get a message to him?
I'm trying to get a message to him.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and make that... How much do you care about what the guards see?
We all have hero points at the beginning of each session, right?
Yes, you all have hero points.
All right.
So,
I don't care as much. If
okay,
they see me.
so let's do that in. Let's go with your panache and your convince, because you need this guy to believe you.
And this is because it's a new roll. I get an extra die.
Yep, first roll of the scene of the game, and
Oh, we get an extra die. Hold on.
3.
Oh, thank the Lord.
How many raises?
3 for me now that I had the extra die.
All right, so you do take the 1 wound, not dramatic, just a minor, but you're able to run, and they see you and they get kind of confused, and now you're pretty sure that they are chasing you instead of chasing him. Cass, you run out and manage to. How does Cass convince him that she's worth listening to? You got the raises. You're going to succeed. What is she doing?
She is going to do a sharp whistle to get his attention first. And then kind of just be kind of desperately pleading with her eyes, mostly, not as much words, and just gesturing to in the direction she thinks is best to go for him to evade easier and have them make it easier for him to avoid pursuit.
So as she runs out, suddenly shouting is coming from the rooftops. There might be 2 of them. I thought it was just the one. And you can see the guards on the roof divert and go off after Juniper. Meanwhile, you get out in front of him and you just the whistle and this look, and he looks up at you, and you hit him with that look, and you can see him kind of look behind him as he's again running full tilt, and just makes the I need something sure, and makes the decision to run off with you. So you are now running with him down, and now that he's a little bit closer and he's running with you, of similar body type, but you're fairly certain this is not Mateo. Sorry.
I figured. It's okay. Cass is just slightly disappointed. But she's gonna be running with him. I can run with you a little bit, but then I'm going to stop and direct them, guide them a different way.
Who are you?
Mateo. I was recruited by Mateo.
Are you Cass?
Yes.
I need to speak to you later. Where can I find you?
El Beso de Serena.
Okay.
And
right.
I'm going to run with him up until wherever it's gonna split off naturally. Stop and make him keep going, and I'm just gonna and I'm going to fall, tear at my dress and fall a little bit, like fall on the ground. Just.
Are we about to see Cass play the? All right, and Juniper. Now that you have the rooftop guards chasing you,
I'm gonna.
You have diverted them from the search, but you now have a group of, let's call it about 6 rooftop guards chasing you.
I'm gonna purposely run towards the ocean, and once I get to a top of the roof that is like close to jumping off, I'm gonna turn in a very just a very fake Spanish accent, Castilian accent. No, senor, don't hurt me. As soon as one of them stab me, do anything that causes a major wound, I'm just gonna fake fall off and then walk.
All right. You need to spend the hero point or form the wound, or you're trying to get one of them to stab you to create the dramatic wound.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
Well, that is more than enough risk and consequence on its own, so there's not even really much need to roll for that. So you do that. They run around, and they look. The guards all turn and look at you and go, "I do not think that is a Los Vagobundos." And one of them says, "We can't take the chance." And he watches. He lifts his lifts a gun, and fires. And you take the dramatic wound in the chest, and you don't need to act as it knocks you back off down towards the water.
Do I hear the shot?
You hear it, but it's far enough away that it doesn't have that triggering effect.
And then I'll walk. I'll just right before I hit the water, just kind of take the blood and just open up a door and just.
All right.
Fucking shit! And I'm taking my time walking through the bloody hallways and making my way.
Meds has what?
Was I able to see Cass run off and disappear with this person?
You probably saw her. Like you saw her. She whistled.
She whistled. Yeah.
That would have been hard to miss. Yeah.
Okay. And
oh, that's right. You're still out there. You didn't go.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm like. Right. Okay, let me just.
You watch Juniper, who is not the most altruistic person in the world.
Go do something.
Go draw their attention, and
Got
then you watch Cass get the guy's attention. Like, you're learning all sorts of things about your friend Cass today.
Edmundo, be bringing out 2 casks of wine.
Oh, yes, of course, right away.
Aye.
Edmundo's probably just like peering out because it's doing the nosy Castilian thing. Like, huh. Oh, okay.
All right, Cass. So, give me a panache and perform.
No.
As you try to paint this picture of the assailed woman. I'm going to say you've got. There are risks, but what are the? No, I don't. No, it just.
Be creative.
They don't believe her.
The risk is that they don't believe her. And so I'm just going to set a high threshold to sell it because they're either going to believe you and interact or ignore you and run on. So I'm going to give you a 2 raise, which is double what you normally need threshold to convince them.
My dice like me today. I got 2 raises with a 1 dice left over.
Do you want to sell it?
Sure.
All right.
Nice.
They run up to you and stop and they go, "Ma'am, are you all right? What did he do?"
He told me I had to come with him, but I fought him off, and then he went that way, and I point in the wrong direction.
And they rush off. One of them does take the time to help you up and make sure.
No, don't worry about me. Just go.
Okay, fine. He dashes off with them.
I'm just gonna get up. Normal.
Brute squads are stupid. If those of you at home are, they can usually be counted on to be misdirected.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, get up, dust myself off, and I'm gonna head back to the inn.
You walk in, and there's Mez with a couple of. As Edmundo is bringing out a couple casks of wine,
and Mez immediately breaks the spouts off and pours them into the street.
Edmundo's like.
Whistles to catch the attention of the passers-by as there's free wine for everyone.
All right. All of a sudden, so you're pouring the wine out onto the street, or it's just open and available, and you
It's just open and available
okay.
for all passersby.
All right. So all of a sudden, there's an impromptu party in the streets, and there's no risk here.
There's a chase. There's a party. Meanwhile, Kristoff's about to destroy a child's heart.
So let's go to that.
Oh no! Sad music.
Kristoff, you go upstairs. She's no longer on the deck, but the door to her room is open, and you can see her sort of nervously looking out the window, a bit perplexed at everything that happened.
She say anything?
She's not even aware that you're there. She's looking out the
Okay.
window at the scene.
I will knock, actually.
Oh, hello, Mr. Helmuth. Is there anything you need?
Kristoff's fine.
Oh, is it supposed to be Herr Helmuth? Kristoff. Okay.
Shake my head, laugh a little bit. Ma'am, I come from the same place as you do, just in a different country. There's no need for formality between you and me.
Well, Papa always told me to be respectful to my elder. Yeah.
I'm an old man. That's what your papa told you to do, and that's what you're comfortable doing. You say and do what you're comfortable with.
Oh, okay, thank you.
But what I'm going to say probably won't be too much of a surprise to you, but I do got to let you know I'm not here under the best of circumstances.
And you have seen a look like this 1,000 times in your various types of services. The deep breath. She knows exactly what the bad news is, or at least thinks she does, and just kind of mentally prepares herself to actually wait.
Having had this conversation more times than anybody should over their life and delivered it to at least a few of my own nieces and nephews, this is too familiar for comfort. But not taking a seat near her, but crouching down, going down to one knee. The Inquisition found your father, turned like the rest of the undead. He was put to rest.
When they turn, does it hurt?
After somebody's turned, it's not them anymore. Whatever pain they had, it's not theirs anymore. That was a beast dishonoring the memory of your father by wearing his face.
That I'm glad they were able to put him to rest. I knew he was gone. I should be more ready for this.
Kristoff is going to start by putting a hand on her shoulder, gently. Knowing a thing is coming and hearing it aren't the same. Like you said, I'm an old man, and I've seen it time and again. And every time I know it's coming, it doesn't get any easier just because you know it's about to be. It ain't real till we hear it.
Thank you. And all of your friends and Lady Mesara, you've all been so kind. My dad would have liked you.
Judging by the way he raised his daughter, I have a feeling I would have liked him.
You You've fought them before in Eisen.
Just give her a nod.
It's better to know this than to think that Monster might still be out there hurting others with his face. Thank you. I'm supposed to go and buy new dresses. That would be a nicer thing to think about. Oh. Could you tell Lady Mesara I'll be back in the morning?
I'll tell Lady Mesara that you will be back when you're ready, and I promise you, she's not going to be upset. If I can give you one more piece of advice, as an old man, people tell you throughout your life, why are you crying? And anybody who says that, they've never had a reason to. And Kristoff is just going to give her a hug the way he would to any one of his own nieces. Whether or not that is the trigger for an emotional release as it usually is.
Yeah, it starts as a thank you hug, but you can just feel as it just tightens. And she's not a particularly large girl, but you can tell she's definitely done manual labor most of her life. There is bite in this hug, and you also are strong and a well-built man, but even then the ribs kind of get a little bit of a yep, just go ahead, and her face is just in your shirt and just full release of sobs.
And I will stay there as long as is needed, and if once the sobs have turned to that quite intermittent sniffle, I'm going to tell her the one thing she needs to do right now is get some rest, and I promise it'll be better in the morning. And I'm going to make her a cup of tea.
All right.
I just so happen to have that tea on my belt pouch still.
Ready for the instance. Yeah, and yeah, it's safe to say she doesn't do anything else that night. She's just laying on her bed and sobbing.
She's taking a personal day, cashing in that PTO.
Oh boy.
Meanwhile, over in Juniper's room, you have a gunshot wound in your chest.
Oh, he is freaking out. He's just like, would you say this is the first time he actually got shot?
He's been shot at, but this is the first time he got shot. And you've got this dramatic wound. By the way, the dramatic wound, there are a few ways to heal it, but for the most part, that's going to stick around for the whole episode. But while it's just one dramatic wound, you do add 1 to all of your dice pools because of it.
Okay. One quick question.
Yeah.
Since I am upstairs where the rooms are, either during that interaction or shortly after, did I suddenly hear the Junie, who, as far as I knew, was outside running off somewhere, suddenly screaming in pain after thumping sounds in his room?
Oh, you would have 100% heard a murd!
Yeah, it's like
French
screaming like you just got shot is a saying for a reason.
And then you hear just a lot of ruffling, maybe a little bit of crying, but
I'm just gonna go into his room with my medical bag ready.
Like Junie knows how to deal with wounds, but was not expecting this. No. And Kristoff comes in and he's got his bag.
I'll open the door like calmly, and I'm just like, "What's up?"
The walls here are pretty thin. You can drop the composure.
Okay, cause this shit hurts, huh? And he'll just unzip the vest and he just pull it back. He's like,
Some things never change.
And he's
And I'll get to work.
he's obviously like panicking. Like the anxiety has set in.
I can't actually heal a dramatic wound as far as I know, but
No, but you can
take
keep
the bullet
it
getting
from
worse.
becoming more, and
Yeah.
you just you bandage it, and you do what always happens in the swashbuckler movies. You put the bandage over, he immediately bleeds through, and otherwise we ignore it until other wounds show up later.
Put some Vaticine on it.
Athletics job. I'm not there to fix the wound. I'm there to make you feel better while you die.
Yeah.
I love that.
Here's some whiskey.
No,
And
what I'm
lots of
saying is,
wine downstairs.
yeah, he's just like, I think I am. I'm going to get more whiskey. Huh? He just kind of stands up. I mean, I'm gonna go get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, just
Never
thank
mind.
you. Yeah. And he just
So
patted him.
there's a bit of a party happening. 2 kegs of wine got opened up, and Cass, as you walk in, there's a whole. This is like siesta's a thing, but this is a siesta.
Another Castilian block party. Yeah, Cass is just going to walk in. She's going to ignore the wine for the most part because she doesn't drink, and she's just gonna go sit down by Smoke just because the very calming presence is needed right now because she's had a day, and she's just gonna.
Look like you've seen a ghost.
Not a ghost. It's just a lot of things catching up at once. And it's been a morning and an afternoon. What time? It's not even 3 p.m. Oh god.
It's 8 p.m. everywhere. Whiskey! It's just kind of holding some. A mug this time.
I think he got shot.
And I'll just look at Cass. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
Cass is just going to look at, like, turn to him at that moment and look at him. Kind of like what they did for you.
Touche.
Actually, Edmundo, who's seen this before, because even though it's now suddenly a very nice inn, it was once just a place where sailors went to drink. And having seen this sort of thing before, Edmundo actually comes over with the bottle of whiskey, uncorks it, pulls the bandage to the side,
What are
and
you
pours
doing?
some onto it.
Ah!
Puts it down and rebinds. Whoever did this did a good job. And he leaves the bottle.
Here.
I feel like Cass seeing the wound and the gravity of it kind of just would have just like actually just reacted like that, just covered her mouth and just looking at it like, oh my god.
Oh, you did? Oh, she didn't realize how bad it was.
I'm suddenly remembering a moment so many parents have with their kids the first time they put like peroxide on. It's like
Oh.
the bubbles are the germs exploding.
I mean, you never told me that. What the hell?
He'll live. He'll live as long as it doesn't get infected.
Mine just told me it's not gonna hurt.
Forget whiskey. Rum.
I'm not going to get any more reading done. So, what all happened outside?
He'll just point at the wound.
Oh, I can see that. You look a little worse for wear as well, Cass.
Oh no, I'm fine. This is not. She's just gonna cover up she's just gonna adjust the skirt so because it's just a tear on the skirt to make it look like she tripped. I did that myself. It's fine. No, the guy got away.
Okay. So we didn't need to get involved, I guess.
No, he got away.
And this is around the time from the other side. It's not exactly a back door. Plenty of people use it to enter. It's just on a less busy street than the door that you all typically use to come in. The door walks in, and the man, now having gotten rid of most of the more obvious pieces of armor, though he still has shoulder pieces and leg pieces. The mask is gone and the cape is gone. He steps in and is kind of looking around, sees the party, and kind of like steps out again to look for the sign, make sure it's in the right place. But then sees Cass and kind of walks over. Is it? For a second, he's just like,
No, my cat's got zoomies right now, man.
he goes over and sits down and goes, very, very good work. I lost some moments. Meaning, whatever you did, it worked. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
kind of glances over at Juniper. And Juniper, you recognize him. He was actually one of the group that saved you.
Do I like put two and two together? That's who we just saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not wearing the mask anymore.
And I'll just kind of go over to him, and I'll hold out my left hand for a handshake. And I'm gonna headbutt the ever loving shit out of him. Like, not to injure him, but enough to just be like, I missed you, but also fuck you.
He takes it and goes, okay, it's important. And he glances to Smoke. And has Mez come over to join the group at this point, or is she still in the party?
Mez is not actually a part of the party. She's just further instigating the party.
Okay.
She's at this
Instigating? Never.
So what she's done at this point is she's kind of going to like the bakers and stuff and purchasing out their entire wares to have them bring into the streets.
She has no idea we're all just back already.
So she's outside and just block party is...
She is literally trying to make it impossible for the guards to ever be able to pick us out of this group at this point.
Cool. Yep.
She's like, look, you're going to do your thing. I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to help cover your asses because some shit went down.
With your dots and wealth, this is easily done. And the party is growing. Folks are talking about what happened, but also because they're drinking and the party atmosphere, the story has escalated. There was now apparently an army of Los Vagobundos around. They ran in every direction. Apparently, they seduced a young woman along the way. There was just... Everything is... The story has already...
Every time someone is telling a story, she passes them another drink.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me more.
All right. So back inside, he kind of sits down and he looks at the group that's there, and
Cass is just like kind of just like looking between the Vagabundos, just looking between and Juniper and Smoke, who is just like got the. Because I saw her lean forward the second this guy came in, she went like this.
And I'm just,
The pyramid.
Edmundo, two shots of rum, please.
Edmundo keeps the drinks coming, and No, I'm okay, thank you. But
these were for me.
I'm sorry, there isn't time to be circumspect about this. Cass, we need your help. I was sent to find you because the Inquisition, they've been in San Cristobal for a while, searching the palace. They found Good King Sandoval's crown. It was hidden. They were never able to find it, but they finally found it. They're taking it to Vaticine Island. If it ever gets there, we'll never see it again. So, we were sent, a group of us, to try to catch it, but the Inquisition has been active everywhere. We don't know what they're doing. They've been up and down the coast. We don't know what they're looking for.
They sent Alessio the Marquez to the east.
Everywhere along the coast. And
they I don't know what they assigned him to, but they assigned Ignacio too.
Well, we don't know what they've been doing, but we've been deployed everywhere to try to figure out what it is they're looking for, what it is they're doing. They've been searching poor quarters and things like that. That's not important. What matters is none of us are in position. And so they said to find you. Our attempt, we don't know which way they're taking it. They say you have access to intel.
Yeah, I can get it for you.
We need more than the intel. Do you have a way to travel quickly? Horses or a boat or something?
Cass is going to pause and look at Smoke. And then look back at the Vagabundo. What's your name again?
Saber is what I go by.
I was about to say, did I know his name?
Yeah, yeah. He would have been introduced to you as Saber. Obviously, a fake name, but yeah.
And as he says Saber, I go, a fucking idiot, a dummy, someone who I risked my life for.
Saber,
It's good to see you again too.
you're sitting in front of a ship, Captain. And she's just going to motion to Smoke. This is Captain Smoke of... What's your name of your ship again?
The less I know, the better. If you can find out where the crown is going, and if you can get it, if you can cut it off before they get it to Vaticine, then I've been instructed that we are ready to end your probationary period. You will be one of us.
Do you have any idea where we are going? Or is that what we are looking for?
That's the first piece of information. There are 1,000 ways they could be taking it. And with them as deployed out, we can't watch all of the units they have working. With so much energy along the coast, it seems likely it could be one of those parties, but it's guesswork. It's a shell game. And we just don't have the manpower. We need to know. Cass, you know we wouldn't risk you as an information source if it wasn't the crown.
She'll just nod. I can do it.
I will send word. And again, he looks at the party and leans forward to her and just whispers, "He's alive and sends his regards."
Where is he?
I don't know. He was in Cristobal, but he could be anywhere now. In one of 1,000. We're chasing rabbits. Do you have any idea? There's something else.
It got cut out. You got cut out.
Do you have any idea what they're looking for besides the crown, or is this just one?
I don't know. I can find out.
Okay. All right. I need to keep moving. If you need to, wear the mask.
I'm allowed.
I mean, the one you have, obviously, not the mask, but.
Well, you got to specify that.
Yes.
Okay. Get out.
Okay. And he gets up and takes off. Oh, and as he walks out, he goes, "And it's good to see you're doing well, friend," and pats you on the wrong shoulder as he heads for the door.
Oh, I'm just gonna kick him right in his thigh.
It's a donkey kick that's both intentional and accidental because it's a knee-jerk response to the pain.
Miss you too, greatest buddy.
And he's out.
So many interesting things today, Cass. In all honesty, I really don't care.
I love Smoke so much.
Thank you for this reading of your backstory. I am unimpressed. Moving on.
Thank you for exposing a good chunk of the backstory. Cass will just. I think that's why I like you. Also, because you're really good at just kind of keeping everyone in line.
There's reasons.
I know.
All of us have our own history, and they all come in various shapes and sizes. I really don't care, as long as it doesn't end me dead in a back alley or in some sort of prison. So I highly suggest you find the information you need.
You're not going to potentially have anything to do to get involved with this. This is information that is both going to be easy to acquire, but also difficult.
Like I said, you get the information you need. I will prepare the ship.
Okay.
All right. Where are we going, and who all is going?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Seacow go first because he hasn't talked for a while.
You don't need to hear me that much. I am going to grab Mez.
All right. And I'm willing to say you were there to hear most of that. You're up to speed.
Okay. So I actually know what's going on?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just leaning on.
I'm not going to say I don't care. I'm going to say it's not my primary concern because between the two girls it could happen to, it's the one that I trust to get herself out of trouble.
I will have you know, I've gotten myself out of plenty of trouble in the time that we've known each other.
I'm the responsible delinquent.
Responsible is not the right word, but we'll use that phrase for now.
In any case.
I am going to grab Mez and just tell her we are going shopping.
Mightn't I ask what we're going shopping for?
We're getting a dress for Kara.
Only the one.
Only the one for now.
Can
We
I
don't want to
persuade you?
overwhelm her. Right now, she's upstairs sleeping, and I can guarantee you it's a good sleep without the nightmares of what I had to tell her.
So you told her then?
I did. And one of the things she said is she's supposed to go out dress shopping.
Aye.
So
I tend to enjoy a good distraction myself, so I was hoping it might help.
And it will.
Eventually.
But to start with, we're going to make sure she has something to wear to feel like a damn princess tomorrow when she wakes up. And since I only know one princess locally...
Okay, here's the thing that I need to be telling you. You don't want to be dressing like you're feeling like a princess. Do you know how much I can't breathe half the time?
Then I want her to dress feeling like you want to feel as a princess, but imagining that you were born in poverty and wanted silk at the same time.
Okay, my apologies. Do you see the things I change into the moment I get back?
All I'm hearing is a lot of Cass would be better at this. She's saying we don't want
Cass
to
would
go
not
shopping.
be better at this. Come on, we're going shopping.
Wait, what?
While we're walking, once
Did I
I've
just
got-
get? I'm confused now. Did I get dragged to go shopping?
No, you have not gotten
You're
involved in
staying
this.
here.
No.
I'm going and taking him. We're handling this. You're not to be complaining about anything that I'd be picking out. I will allow you to put a couple of caveats on it, so it's comfortable.
I don't think so. Not right now. You're getting your wishes, so sit down.
I'm at the bar.
And then
sewing
I
up
have
my
something
stuff.
else to say once we're done shopping, but that can wait
Okay.
for
Yeah.
another scene.
So as they run off for shopping, Cass, who are you bringing along with you?
I can't bring
If anyone-
any. I don't know if I can bring anyone home with me. I kept all of this out of my life for a month. And then this little shit over here wrote a letter to my dad.
I mean, was I at that same party? watching
No,
everything? No, I wasn't at that party. It was the other
no
party.
one knows.
I mean, I'm still looking for cargo. If you need a person to go with you. Trade routes.
I could introduce you to Count de Marquez, and you can maybe discuss some things with him. But you said you say you don't care, right? All right, then I trust you not to ask questions when we get there and just go along with it. And then she's gonna look at Juniper. Are you good at climbing? I seen you come through the foreground window, but she's gonna just gesture to his shoulder. Are you good at actually like doing?
Me knowing that the type of climbing I do not require actually climbing, I just go. If you need me to be sneaky and climb on buildings, I can do that.
Need you to get to a window for me.
Ooh, okay. Which window?
I will open the window once I get to it, and I will hand you something whenever I find what I'm looking for, and then you're going to take it away.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And he just drowns the rum.
I don't want you to get into a lot of physical. I don't need you to get into the thick of it. I mainly need you to be sneaky. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that. I am going to need another vest, though, because this one has a bloody hole. And
It's
he
not
just
a
lifts
lot-
up the vest.
Well,
He's
not
shirtless
just,
now, by the way.
it's not just a hole. There's bloodstains all over it.
Exactly.
To be fair, you are so inured against blood because it's just part of what you do. Like, oh right, yeah, that would be weird to walk around in a bloody vest.
So,
Maybe maybe I know you complain about water, but maybe have a glass before we go.
I will definitely do that. Also, this is the only vest I own. Unless
Edmundo.
Edmundo, who is running because there's free wine, but there's also
There's
people who
patrons
decided they don't want wine, and so he's like running up and down because a block party just started with absolutely no warning on his front porch. But after a bit, he's able to come over because obviously the party gets special treatment.
Edmundo, do you have an extra shirt that might fit Juniper?
He looks over at Juniper.
I know I might be a little more muscly than you, but
Hey, that's not nice.
I can just, rub the sleeves off.
Right. He kind of glances at the bar, shrugs, and then
Maybe someone left. Maybe someone left something when they got a little too drunk. I don't know.
I don't suppose Kara would be available to help out.
No, we leave Cara alone today.
All right. Okay, and so he takes Juniper into the back where his apartment is, and puts him in actually a sailing shirt. Fairly nice, rugged material that's meant to be able to survive constantly getting wet and dry with the salt and everything, and puts you in it, and loose fitting too, so it won't. So that it won't immediately bleed through when it puts on, and he's like, you can.
I'm going to rip the sleeves. Thank you. And he just kind of walking.
But they would cover the. Okay.
I was gonna say they cover the wound.
He's ripping it from here and down, so that way all of this
it will still kind of cover the wound. Yeah.
He doesn't like.
He does take advantage when you do that. Again, whiskey on the wound. This time though, he gives you like a leather piece that you can put in your mouth to bite down on while he does it.
I snap it into. I don't do pain well. That
how...
isn't caused by my own.
It'll keep it from turning. So long as it doesn't turn, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Have you pulled the bullet out?
The bullet is out.
Okay.
He just takes the bullet out of his pocket He let me keep it.
Souvenir.
Super.
All right.
Thief's first time getting shot.
Let them go shopping first, because this is gonna take them. Her thing's gonna take more than a minute.
All right. So you managed to find the tailor again. It's fairly early afternoon, so Taylor comes out and it's like, Lady Mesara, so good to see you again.
I and you as ever.
So, what are we doing today? Oh. Well, he's a tall glass of water, isn't he? He kind of looks past Maz at Kristoff. Are we dressing him up today?
This is my man-at-arms.
Ah, okay.
He's just ensuring, what with the... There's a bit of a rough house, a scrap or something, and it kind of turned into a bit of a party.
I heard there was like a 10-foot tall vagabundo just seducing all of the women as he ran around.
Is that so? Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
In any case, so who are we dressing?
Do you recall the slip of a girl that I brought? Well, okay, I cannot say the slip of a girl considering myself. The young Castilian girl that I had brought with me a couple of days ago.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Very sweet girl. Looked terrified.
She is still a little. I was wondering if you had anything in a proper satin that might be fitting her.
What color?
Creams and whites for unmarried women.
Actually, instead of a satin, do you think you have anything in a very soft cotton in a sky blue?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think I do, actually. And he goes in the back and comes out. Probably a bit big for her. But he brings it out and he shows it. And very nicely done. Not particularly opulent, but both pretty and comfortable from the look of it.
With that, can you be getting a satin sash in a cream color?
Let's see, do we have Louise? And from the back, something else. What is it? Do we have any more of the cream satin, or did we use it all for the grande ball? I've got some left, enough for a sash. See? Yes, we can do that.
Grateful for it. And perhaps one of your finest nightgowns that might be fitting her as well.
Ooh. Does she have a window facing the sea?
Aye.
All right, 1 moment. And he goes kind of into the back and digs out and pulls out a very comfortable looking. She can keep the windows open without catching her death.
Aye, sounds like it's perfect. Let's see.
With all of these and the adjustments on the dress, of course, I'd have to bring the waist in a little bit. Maybe let the hem out some, though. She was a bit on the leggy side. Anything else? Any decorations other than the sash?
First of all, while they're talking, I'm going to go inspect the cloth. I am going to check the whole thing because, little known fact, I am deeply aware of fashion and textile.
Like we Seacow are, or Kristoff is?
Kristoff is. Seacow doesn't know shit.
All right, yeah, neither does Dan. So for a second, I was like, I have come to the end of the detail. I can put in the
That's fine. I just want to make sure that this is quality, what we're getting, that it is.
It's clear it's off his rack. It's off the rack. Like, there were probably a whole bunch of these made by folks in a shop. This obviously is not a custom piece. But for a custom piece, this guy's got a reputation to keep, and his name's on it. And so,
okay. So it is something that will hold up. Gotcha. And then after doing that, I don't care if they're in the middle of talking or not. I'm just going to turn over. She needs a hat.
Oh, she needs a hat. She'll need a cap. Perhaps a little bit of lace for the neck.
Oh, and he just starts writing down all of the things.
A little bit of lace. Chantilly, you thinking, or maybe more like a ruffle? I'm not sure what's the proper style here in Castile. But,
I would say a nice chantil. Aye.
All right. Yeah. Now, one of those little hats, the ones that I don't remember the word for it, but the smaller ones that are worn off center with maybe a nice floral pin.
That's not necessarily his piece of work.
I can definitely give you the name of a good haberdasher.
That'll do.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing Mesara has never seen is that evidently Kristoff is
good at this.
Very aware of.
We can have a whole moment right now.
We are having a moment. And she's just nodding. We can find a haberdashery, a pair of shoes. So we're going to be needing the cobbler.
Yeah,
you can't be having this. No, you can't be having this and the pair of shoes she's having. You need to be having at least 2 sets of shoes that she could be wearing with this, and a pair of slippers to go with the nightgown.
Well, clothes are one thing. We can just cinch it in a little bit with a tasteful belt or a sash. But shoes, now that's something that we're going to want to get properly fitted for. So she should be there for that. She can wear this out tomorrow when we get her some nice shoes. She's got new pairs, one for looking and one for walking and riding.
I might have already gotten all of her measurements.
All right, we'll get her some shoes.
At this point, the door opened. Mez has a reputation in San Juan, and it's possible, like, maybe a carrier pigeon was sent, I don't know, but the haberdasher is walking into the shop because she's spending money get there.
There was a disturbance in the capitalist force. And there was a disturbance in the capitalist force. They sensed money and they're going for it.
And the haberdasher walks immediately up to Mez and goes, "It's for the girl, yes?"
Aye, very much so.
For tourney or for church?
For evening wear and perhaps a little bit of afternoon wear.
Okay, and he's taking down all the notes. Colors?
You'd been saying floral, aye?
Pearling?
I would say minimal pearling. Not
too
quite.
Too much
However,
for right now. We let her work up to the pearling.
A singular pearl, perhaps Inish, if you have it.
Tasteful.
White or black?
With this, I'd be saying
Not black.
Not
white
black.
is it? White it is.
if you have any in a good opalescent, aye. A little bit more
Pretty
shimmer,
big body, but it does go with the Inish theme. Okay.
aye.
Beadwork, no pearl. Trust me.
I would understand that. Yes.
Give her something to feel like she's earning her way up in your service. For now, we keep it simple, nice, but you let her feel like she has earned the next step.
Fine. For a bit of sense in, and she's talking to both of the shopkeepers at this point. She's going to be being my lady's maid for a few upcoming events. However, as she's new, I don't want her to necessarily be standing out too much.
All of a sudden, Louise sticks his head out. I was like, "Did she just say that Kara's going to be her lady's maid?" Oh, just wait till my abuela hears. He falls back in.
Oh, God.
That news is going to hit my neighborhood before I do.
The problem is, this now makes Kara an eligible maid.
Girl's got a dowry now.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. If you can't,
NPCs whose lives have been fundamentally altered by the party, and we're only in the second episode.
This is only the second episode, and oh my god.
I almost hate to divert us back to the plot, but we're going to do that for a second. Forget the plot. Forget anything I thought was going to happen today. This is amazing. All right, so
We had to go shopping. Important things were going on.
the girl
He
was
took me
sad,
shopping!
and the father figure is going to buy her a dress. That's awesome, and I will never regret it. So, What was that thing you were asking once about the shopping episode? Anyway.
I want a shopping.
I need you
episode.
to know that with Mesara, there's the chance every episode is going to end up with a shopping episode
Fair.
for like 5 minutes.
But anyway, hopping over to Cass and Junie heading towards her house.
So I
And
already
Smoke along with them, but she'll
Yeah.
join it when she gets
I already told Smoke about it and everything, but I need you to be cool when we get there. I'm not going to let you come into the house the normal way. I need you to do the sneaky thing, but I need you to also just not ask questions until later. If that's okay?
So am I stealing? Are we stealing something? That's what's going on here.
I wouldn't say it is stealing so much as that we're liberating information.
Okay, so I'm going to be thieving with you. That's what's happening right now.
We are merely getting some information, not necessarily for bad reasons.
See, I trust you greatly, but you got me shot today. So that is a little bit of a thin line for the moment.
I didn't know.
I know you did. It's fine. I'm not.
I was just trying to help him
blaming
get away.
I know. It's fine. He like winces at that when he moves his arm. He's like,
I'm sorry.
no. It's okay. It's just if there's a risk of me getting shot again.
No,
Why'd you sounded very unsure about that?
because the Count de Marquez does own a rifle, but he won't fire it in the house for a very good reason.
Okay.
So there is no way that Juniper does not know the Count de Marquez is the head of the local Inquisition.
Oh no. He has no clue. He just
As we're walking to, the neighborhood's getting nicer and nicer as we go along.
Oh yeah, no. Like as soon as we pass a house that has more than 2 floors, he just goes. He just looks at Cass.
And she's so we're gonna reach the De Marquez household, and Cass is going to direct Junie to the garden area that my father's office overlooks.
Okay. So.
And she's just gonna point, like she's gonna have left a Smoke at near the front of the house, but she'll have followed Junie. She's just gonna point at the one window. That's going to be the window. And she's just gonna direct you to a location where a lot of people don't generally come to because some bushes have overgrown, and we haven't gotten a gardener in for a while.
And there's not a lot of people creeping around the Inquisitor's house.
There's not a lot of people creeping around the Inquisitor's house.
So you just need me to hang out by that window.
Just hang out here, and you'll know when to come up.
Well, I can actually just hang on the window without anyone seeing me, actually.
I feel like if you're hanging from the windowsill before it's opened, it might draw some attention because I do have some nosy neighbors.
Oh. Okay. Just give me a signal. Then, I guess.
In my mind, I'm just like, oh, he just glazed right past that. Okay.
And this is you putting together, or at least hearing. You can decide whether Junie puts together that this is the house. You already know this is the house of the Inquisitor. And she just referred to them as her neighbors.
Did she say that? So he'll just kind of look at her and just go.
No questions until after. No questions until after.
All right.
You promised.
I did. Okay.
I'm just gonna leave. You go walk back to.
You didn't argue with me. The same as promising. I've had that in a conversation.
Walk back over to Smoke, and she's just gonna be like, "All right, are you ready to make a business deal?" And she's going to walk over to the door and just let herself in.
Explain things.
The door opens, and as you walk in, sitting in a chair right in front of it is Magdalena. Lucrezia,
I'm in a different outfit too.
that is not the dress you left the house in, and it's been torn. What? Is the princess okay?
The princess is fine. I left her at the inn, and I was being escorted here by the captain of the ship that she travels on. And I thought that the ship captain would like to speak with Papi about some transportation deals that he might be interested in.
Dress. Your grandmother made that dress.
It's back at the inn.
What inn?
The inn that I am staying at, madam. The princess saw that the dress had needed a little bit of repair, and is personally seeing to it to make sure that it is perfectly restored.
You damaged 2 dresses today with a princess. Dios mío.
You know what? I
try to be a good mother. I try to raise you and your brothers responsibly.
Madam,
Patience, prophets grant me patience. I need all the patience. I need all the patience right now.
your daughter has been absolutely the most wonderful host. I am eternally grateful for her bringing me here so that I actually could get here and speak to your husband about some business that I know that we were wanting to do.
And I am just so ashamed at my state. I should just go right upstairs to my room and change into something more appropriate.
Probably best. I can't even look at you right now. And she looks at Smoke. I'm terribly sorry. My husband has been called away with a very, very urgent business. So he's not around. But thank you so much for escorting her. Can I get you a drink?
That would be lovely. It was a long walk.
Okay, and she leads you in. She means well. I know she means well. She tries so hard. She just needs to get settled down. She needs to get settled down. That is what she needs, is to be settled down.
Cass is 20.
I was about to say, how old is
To
she?
be fair, we get until about 25.
We get him at 25. And then we're old ladies.
So as she is leading, and you hear that as you go up, that your father has been called away.
I'm gonna break into his office.
All right. You walk up to the office, and you go, and the door is open.
That's not normal, is it?
That is not normal. Which is weird, because you know where to find the key. Like, family knows how to get into every room in the house. You know not to go into that room, but in case there was a reason you ever needed to, you know where the hidden key is in, so you're easily able to get the key and get to it, and then it just turns and opens.
I'm going to kind of crack it and try to peer in to not be too noticeable, just to see if there's anything going on in there.
It looks, as it often looks, the desk looks a little messier than you're used to. It looks like he might have been looking at some reports and left in a hurry.
All right. She's just gonna go in then, close the door behind her, and then she's gonna lock it.
All right. Easily done.
She's gonna go over to the window and open it.
Okay.
And she's just gonna lean out and look down at Junie.
Junie, you see the window open.
She hasn't seen my blood magic yet, has she?
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna turn a corner and just disappear from like her sight, and I'm gonna spend my 1 hero point that I get, and then I'm just gonna take a blade and just, and I'm just gonna be right next to the window all of a sudden, and just kind of turn and go, "Hello."
What does she have that you're using to port to her?
No, it's second story work. That's the ability that I can.
He spent a hero.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I spent the hero point for it. Yeah,
Right.
1 hero point that I have at the beginning of the session.
Right, you are. So yeah, all of a sudden he's just there. That is the second dramatic wound for you, sir.
Second dramatic. Oh man, I thought those were minor. Okay.
Minor? Is it minor? If you know your abilities better than I do. So
last time you gave me a minor one for it.
because like I thought porting you was all right.
So second story work, you can spend a hero point to locate a way into a building or share. You can bring up to 1 other character along with you, but everyone else has to find their own way in or wait for you to open path for them. And last time, because it's like under sorcery, you said that I could flavor however I want, and that's how I've been flavoring.
Oh right, yeah. So okay, so it doesn't actually cost you a wound. It's just all it costs you is the hero point.
Yeah,
okay.
Hero point. Just
So you actually don't need a new wound. You have still a perfectly workable wound. You squeeze the bullet hole,
and I'm just,
and all of a sudden there he is next to you in the second story. Oh, Jess, and because you are right there, this is happening right in front of you, and there's this weird, in like X-Men movies when Azazel or Nightcrawler teleport, and there's this weird. It's almost like there's a floating pool of blood in front of you that suddenly coalesces with a popping noise, and then all of a sudden Juniper's there, and no sign of the blood. Other than his bloody hand coming away from the room.
She's visibly freaked out.
Hello.
Would I know because of the household I grew up in?
This is clearly blood sorcery.
That's what... I can never introduce you to my father.
Probably not. On top of that, I am poor. I'm a thief. I'm very attractive, not a prince, because it seems like
No, not the princess. No, not even a little bit. No. She's gonna head over to the desk. We just need to get some information, and then I need you to go back to the inn with it.
Yeah, I can do that. This is basically my entire job.
This is so you're searching quickly for information because you obviously don't want to be in this particular room any longer than you absolutely have to be.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing. So the risk comes from how long you're here looking through this paperwork. I'm going to say wits and notice. Unless you want to try to talk me into a different skill.
No, that's pretty much what I was already thinking. Oh man, my dice like me today. I rolled 2 raises with 1 left over.
All right.
And I will not sell that one, sir.
Okay. You're going through and you just sort of have a sense, like you move a few pages and then all of a sudden you see the full report and you realize all of it is true. The Inquisition is in possession of the crown of good King Sandoval. They are moving it at first by land. And they're moving it along. Let me grab my map real quick. So there's a road that goes from La Reina del Mar all the way to Rioja on the eastern side of the peninsula. And they're moving it along that way to avoid, because there's more than the usual amount of sea traffic these days. And they're trying to avoid even the possibility of piracy. And so they're going by road. There are it's a small group that's trying to avoid notice. All they are moving is the crown, and so they're able to move relatively at speed, though they are moving in an armored carriage, just to and it's almost more. It's clear they're going like this is a small group that will not be worth your effort. And so they're moving along, and as you're looking at it, you get a decent sense of how far they're moving. They've got a couple of days head start on you, so overtaking them by road, you'd probably be looking at killing horses. Luckily, you have a different plan, or at least a different mode of transport. Also, you're able to see that your father, just as from all the other paperwork, your father has basically dispersed almost the entirety of Inquisition that he has any control over in just looking over a very efficient search for the ghouls. It's clear he took this threat very seriously. And that's why the Inquisition was so spread out. But that's also why the Los Vagobundos are all spread out, because they're like, what are they looking for? And as important as containing the ghouls has been, keeping it quiet has been more so.
Do I see where he sent my brothers to?
You do see the orders that he gave. Ignacio's in town, and just basically working with the town guard. And at this point, it's reminding the town guard to forget. They had to do some things. They saw some stuff, and it's like, it would do everyone a favor. You know what? We'll even cover a shift. Go enjoy yourself, and you never talk to anyone about this. So Ignacio's basically reminding the town guard that they don't see nothing, they don't know nothing. Eliseo has been sent. At first, you're worried when you hear that they're going to be going through Rioja, that maybe he'd be there, one of the receiving teams, but it seems like he's been actually sent to the island of San Agustin for something completely unrelated.
San Agustin?
Yeah. San Augustine.
San
Probably Augustine.
I literally just quick hand some of the information onto a separate sheet of paper.
Easily.
Write it down real quick, and I fold it up. I give it to Juniper, and I just tell him, go back to the inn and wait for me there.
Well, she wasn't paying that much attention to me, was she?
I was not.
She was very intently looking through the desk.
What? Don't give me that look. Was there anything interesting by the window?
Robbing my family, dude?
He doesn't know it's your family.
I literally said my neighbors.
I know he did. Look, he's trying not to make himself feel bad.
This office is actually fairly austere.
Okay.
You thought the whole point of being a corrupt inquisitor was to be you got all sorts of bribes and stuff like that.
Basically.
And if that's the case, there's not a ton in here. There's some silver candles, candelabras and stuff like that might have some value, but
Mom bought those.
He just kind of looking. He's just like, nah. And
so there is stuff, but no, this is obviously going to be a whole lot of money for very little effort.
Yeah. He just kind of looks at her. I have a lot of questions.
And I imagine I will have to answer them, but not here. And she's just being very serious about it as she's writing down the information to hand off to you.
Well, bye-bye. As he takes the paper, and then he'll do a flip, and he's out.
And I'm going to put everything back the way I found it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Try to let myself out of the room.
Easily
lock
done.
it.
Yeah.
I leave it unlocked because that's how it was left.
Mm-hmm. And you are able to get the key back to where it's supposed to go and everything. And as you go downstairs, you hear your mother talking to Smoke. Now, sea captains, how much time are they gone? Would you say one would make a good husband?
I mean, it would really depend. If they're a very successful merchant, they can set somebody up with a really good life and be gone for months at a time.
What do captains' wives get up to? Do they cause trouble? Do they tend to be respectful women? And Cass, welcome. We were just talking.
To answer that, I really wouldn't know. My mother and father stayed on the ship together.
Very romantic, don't you think? Cass? I mean, sorry, Lucrezia. She doesn't know the name.
Yeah, she doesn't know the name.
My bad,
So
that's
now
my bad.
Smoke. Yeah, so now Smoke knows Lucrezia.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anyway,
I
your
will be-
address.
Oh, I forgot to change.
What are you? I don't even know where your head's at. I can't even look at you. Captain Smoke, I'm so sorry. I will certainly leave a note for my husband to get back to you with any business. What is the name of your ship?
He can leave it with my name, and I will write down my name on something nearby, possibly.
Yeah, sure.
Leave a message for me at the docks.
The docks.
At the docks. I formerly was on another ship and have acquired my own, so finishing all those things up right now.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much. And again, sorry he wasn't here. This is the life of an Inquisitor, though. He gets called off at all hours, so.
That is absolutely understandable. It's a very important job. I will say, though, the princess is expecting both of us back for an event later this evening.
Oh.
Yes, that's why I came back also to help to introduce the captain to Bobby and also to get my hairpin because I forgot my hairpin.
You're not going to an event with the princess dressed like that.
I didn't plan on it.
Fine, just go.
You know what? I might stay with the princess tonight. Maybe could become good friends with her.
That would be good news. She seems like a good girl, and I think she would be a good influence on you.
The princess is a wonderful person, has been a really grand employer.
For the record, this is me unable to keep a straight face. Magdalena does not know that she just made a joke.
Literally every single one of us except Salty covered in our mouth.
Very well. Just
I'll pack us something over for overnight, and Captain, I will be just a few moments.
all right.
I'll go wait outside.
Okay.
While she is changing on the walk back from the shopping, Kristoff and Mesara walking through the streets, where the party has slowly grown. You know how sometimes a block party starts a block party and then it's just like it goes viral, and no one seems to know why they're partying, but
It's that party. It's the kid from Australia who invited everyone from MySpace.
There you go.
Are you ashamed of what you did? No.
what would you say to other youth who start throwing a party? Well, let me throw the party for you. So the party's growing and you all are walking back.
Yeah, while walking back, waiting for a opportune moment, which is to say a moment in which Kristoff finally, despite having faced down monsters, fought in a civil war, is literally waiting for a moment to adequately build up his courage. Until finally, just, Mez, I'm sorry.
Whatever for.
And at that, Kristoff is... I was really hoping you'd be mad at me or something, because it just makes it so much easier to apologize, rather than having to explain it. It's a lot easier to apologize when you're apologizing for something you did to somebody else and not something you did for yourself.
Aye.
Going on a month ago, I saw how you reacted to the ghouls, and that was the right reaction to the dead coming back. And despite that, I left your side and went after them.
Kristoff, you had a job to do. If there's anything I be understanding, it's duty. You were the only one among us who knew how to deal with these things, and certainly I would not necessarily be wishing to be dealing with such a thing, but again, it's perhaps a touch out of my comfort zone, and this is, from someone who has to regularly stop breathing for times. But you were trying to protect all of us.
I was trying to kill the undead. It's been a long time since I had to deal with that.
Hi.
And there's a lot from back home I don't talk about. I'm not saying it's a taboo subject or anything. I just don't have reason to share more old man stories. But when I went onto that boat, I wasn't thinking about protecting Castille or any of you. I was thinking about killing monsters.
And at this point, she will reach for his hand and kind of squeeze it with both of hers. It didn't matter the reason why you were doing it. You were still doing it. You were protecting us as best as you knew how, even if perhaps that wasn't the first thought on your mind. It's what you were doing, and it's what I trusted you to do.
Kristoff tearing up a little bit and making no attempt even to hide it. If I ever become as blind as an Inquisitor, you slap some sense back into me.
Kristoff, if you ever become as blind as an Inquisitor, you'd already have my sword up your arse.
And at that, a good laugh, and finish the walk home.
And she will just keep holding his hand the entire walk home.
Any chatting between Smoke and Cass on the walk back to the...
I imagine we ran into Junie at some point, but I did get my usual gear. I just put it in an overnight bag and had my maids change me into a very nice dress for appearance sake, so my mother won't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
As you are kind of going out of the house, everything, you hear her in the kitchen. You know when moms do the mutter that's like I'm muttering to myself, but everyone in the house can hear it? That is the mutter that is going on. And it's just a thousand things about it's easier with the boys. I just don't understand. I didn't do this sort of thing when I was a girl.
She doesn't even Cass is kind of hears it a little bit, kind of just like lingering a little bit in the hallway, and just sighs before just ultimately turning around and just leaving without even saying goodbye.
So, Lucrezia. Cass. As we're walking.
And running and rendezvousing with Junie, I assume.
At some point. That is a whole barrel of crazy you have to deal with on a daily basis. If you ever need to be shanghaied and put onto a ship to escape it, you do know a ship captain.
I actually already had an idea of how to get away without her getting too suspicious about things, but I'll have to talk to Mess about it.
If you need help with that, because she obviously doesn't see what you're worth as a person. She only sees what you're worth as a thing.
It's just how it is, honestly. I just didn't fight. I stopped arguing with her.
And you found other ways to be who you need to be. So, if you need help with that. And then Smoke will just start walking. Boots clicking on the ground.
And she'll just follow. And just like be kind of like looking a little sheepishly at Juniper.
Juniper just kind of staring at her like, a noble.
When we get to the inn, back to the inn, I think we'll just have to all sit down and talk. I think Kristoff is the only one that doesn't know this part.
Right. And also, Nez has not seen the wound. This never happened.
Fine.
Alright. And he'll cover the wound back up, like fully this time.
Alright. You all get back to the base of the Sirena, and the party going on. It's now the sun's getting low in the sky over the harbor, and the party is just spreading long forgotten what it ever might have been about. What started as 2 suddenly opened kegs of wine, casks of wine, has become an impromptu holiday. Castilians do not ever need too much excuse to have a party on the spot, and so they've just sort of lived into it. Because it happened at ground zero, you get in and Edmundo's kind of like, I'll have more in the morning. He was not stocked for this. And so his bar has sold out. No, I have all of the money. They paid for it. It's just...
Right, but I did not be paying for the casks of wine earlier.
Thank you. Cass, and he with the look of a man who is becoming more and more suspicious of all of the good fortune that surrounds him. He knows eventually this is going to bite him in the ass. He just sort of takes it because he's learned there's absolutely no point in arguing with Mez about this. And
at this point, he is very wealthy. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, what started what was literally a dirt bar that went exclusively for sailors and has kind of a raunchy name, has suddenly turned into one of the nicer venues just by grace of, like, stuff gets broken and it's immediately replaced, and he's investing. He's not dumb, but yeah.
By the princess who doesn't have any concept of money.
See, here's the thing. She has the concept of money. She just doesn't know the value of other things.
Oh.
Those are $11, right?
So obviously here, $20,000 for the $11 thing, right? So just in there like, no!
Area 51 funding going on here.
But yeah,
$50 toilet seat, right?
When we get there, if Mez and Kristoff are back, which they probably are by that point, it's Cass wearing a very nice gown, very out of place. Even Edmundo would be surprised probably because he never sees Cass like this.
Why don't we be going upstairs?
Before I head upstairs, I'm going to send a letter off to the ship, or off to Jonathan, to acquire some extra wood and a couple of extra beds for the ship. Because it looks like I'm going to have to expand a couple of private rooms in the underside where everybody sleeps. So,
yeah, they are. You send it off, and you're pretty sure that they could get that all together fairly quickly. In lack of cargo, actually, they have so
plenty of space right now. I don't have to cargo the ship. So yeah.
Go upstairs.
Yep.
Shutting the door behind us. Right. Well.
So Cass is just gonna just set her overnight bag down and just my name is Lucrecia de Marquez. My father is Count Paulo de Marquez. He's the head inquisitor of the city.
Are all of us here for this?
everyone's
Yes, everyone.
Yeah, okay. ghost white.
I haven't said anything to him about you, any of you.
However, there's a slight hiccup. It might be a bit invested in myself. And I might have offered some sword lessons to Cass in exchange for her taking me about the city.
But I am actually a trained duelist already, as you've already seen. Not officially, but I am decent enough to hold my own. And that is because I've been trained by Los Vagobundos. Well, a vagabundo. And I'm currently a spy of sorts for them. That whole thing and she's looking at Kristoff. Remember that crazy girl with the hood and the mask who threw a bunch of daggers on the ground and ran around you and their Grande Serrano and then just took off?
Hard to forget. Yeah.
That was me.
Oh, that was well done.
Yep.
And I used my connections to make sure that you weren't arrested that day.
Why am I the only one here in shock? Well, except Kristoff. Wait, are you good? He just kind of like pushing his face and like, you know, the red mark on his face.
Kristoff is just going to take a seat wherever is convenient at this point.
Probably the bed.
Middle of the floor.
Yeah.
Leaning against the wall next to the window. Just
Head pats.
So, you've
Car-
been...
Cass is just looking at June.
Man, so you're wealthy.
My family is wealthy, but I mean, I don't really care about any of that.
All right. So you've been lying to us.
oh, we don't even want to hear.
Won't
lying.
even want to hear that because I've heard you talk in that French accent, sir.
We're not
Well-
even talking about the French accent. Are we talking about the fact that you fucking disappear out of nowhere and appear in another place? You
Yeah,
think I didn't notice that in the middle of the last fight?
Okay, how did this turn into me?
He did that
Being
he did that in my house. I know what that is.
Aye, see? Well, I didn't
Okay,
know it was a
okay.
different thing, but
Okay. Look,
The kids are fighting.
It's not that I've been lying, first off. Second off,
neither
there was
is
no
she.
reason for me to tell you until it was irrelevant. Until now.
Is that why he sent you over to for me to watch you? Why is he asking me to watch you? My father would have you arrested the moment he found out what you did.
Okay, you know that I'm just gonna drop everything. Look here, okay?
Aye.
Don't give me that, okay? Look,
You don't hide your accent all that well. I've picked up on it about 23 times at this point.
you know that's because I've been around you since I got here, okay? And you got me drunk like 56 times.
How's that my fault? You keep accepting the drinks.
It's anyway. you.
Aye. What about me?
I've been all of my life, okay? I've been chased.
Kristoff
For
is going
something-
to just start laughing. Full on guffaw belly laugh at this point. And whether they want to or not, all three of his kids are just going to get squished together.
Oh no! He
What
just
are we doing? What is this? Why are you touching me? What is this?
that
Oh,
hurts a
his-
lot.
Yeah, he's got. What are you talking about? What hurts? Remember, nothing happened to you.
Yeah, no.
I'm just going to lean this
I'll
wire
do
hanger
it.
up against the wall and lean back.
Why are we? What is going on here? What is this particular action?
I don't.
It's a hug.
What?
I don't know why we're getting a hug though, because we were just yelling at each other.
That's why.
This is
And
new.
as the group, the young ones, having received a hug with no idea why, dealing with all of the stuff that has just been laid out on the table for them now. I think this is going to be a good place to call it for this episode of the Blades of Roses. Before we sign off, huge thanks to Squirrels of Darkness who are carrying us. Huge thanks to Dell, our producer, and all of the work she's put in to make all of this happen. Thank you all for joining us on this crazy journey, and there's clearly more to happen. And
Scene.